This is Fairview Coffee Estates in Kenya's Kiambu County, where coffee trees planted more than a century ago are still standing on 150 acres. Millicent Onjoro is head of coffee tourism at the farm.
A coffee tree, if well taken care of, could last for about 300 years. So the coffee that you're seeing here was planted in 1909.
There are two main types of coffee, Robusta and Arabica. Kenya grows the Arabica coffee, which is vegetative and requires pruning to achieve quality coffee berries. But how have these coffee trees survived for over 100 years?
We have a process called conversion. So the conversion process is where we cut down these trees after 6 years, and then we nurse new shoots from the old stump, where the new shoots are ready to produce coffee after every 2 years.
There are two coffee picking seasons in Kenya. We visited this coffee farm in July, a low picking season that begins in May through September.
But in October, November, December, we have a very high picking season where we have, all the coffee ripens almost at the same time.
Kenya boasts of its hand-picked coffee, and there's a good reason for that.
You have people picking the berries and they're picking just the best. So we also tend to maintain a certain height that people can reach, and also because of maintaining the energy downwards, so that you have a lot of coffee berries being produced downwards to the tree, and also have uniformity.
The farm harvests approximately 80 tons of coffee a year, and the berries are picked when red wine in color, loaded onto trucks and taken to the factory for sorting. Here, the beans are fermented for 12 hours, then graded, the heaviest bean being the best in quality.
The water grading helps us determine the quality of coffee in terms of the weight of the coffee seeds. The heavier and the bigger the coffee beans, the better. So we just label them as P1, P2, P3, and P4. P1 and P2 being the best, P3 and P4 being the least grades. What we are seeing there is the last collection of the heaviest beans, so that's parchment 1.
The graded coffee beans are then dried for 3 to 5 days.
This parchment wine is supposed to be pure and perfect. It's not supposed to have any bean that is with a blemish. So this is what we transport to the millers so that they can remove the husk.
Parchment 4 or P4 is the lowest grade in terms of quality.
Does this still end up being milled, processed, and taken to the stores to be sold? And is it labeled accordingly?
There's a market for everyone. So of course the P1, P2 will fetch better prices than the P3, P4.
Once dry, the beans are sealed in sacks and put in a storage, ready to be sold to millers. At the farm's lab, the husk from dried coffee beans is removed to get the green coffee, which is then graded, roasted, and exported. Anne Wambui is the barista, an expert in brewing coffee.
So what we have here is light roasted coffee. This is medium roasted coffee, and this is dark roasted coffee, or the espresso roast. For those people who like concentrated coffee, they go for the dark roast.
Anne puts me to test to figure out what kind of coffee roast I prefer.
Good coffee should have body, acidity, and the flavor. The flavor is the aftertaste. The body is the mouthfeel, and acidity is the sharpness.
She says medium roast coffee is well balanced and most popular.
There are times even whereby you'll be given a grade AA, for instance, from like 10 different farms, and you have to get the different characteristics that these coffees have.
Kenya is set to host the 123rd International Coffee Council in April. Organizers say the conference is expected to provide a platform to discuss ways of addressing challenges facing the sector and ensuring growers get fair financial gains. Esther Githui Ewart, VOA News, Kiambu County, Kenya.